celebrates 1 year since business in Nigeria grinded to a halt for 10 days following the strike action in protest of the government's plan to remove the nation's fuel subsidy. Now, the debilitating strike led to the government's decision to only partially remove the subsidy. Now, CNBC Africa's Keisha Gitari investigates how effective this partial removal was and the impact on the economy.
On this bridge 1 year ago, hundreds of angry Nigerians took to the streets after President Goodluck Jonathan announced the controversial removal of the fuel subsidies, which would see the price of petrol more than double. The president promised that the pain would be temporary, and within a few months, the economy would be better off and repositioned.
There was enough anger last year that people responded to that by coming out. I think that if you think of a place like Falomo, I particularly remember on that last Friday, somebody pointing out how many high court judges were actually in the crowd there. It showed, people had just had it. It's a lot more than the price of petrol. It's people saying, there's no accountability in the way we are governed. We want to see accountability in governing.
Due to the public's uproar, however, the subsidy removal saw the petrol price adjusted to 97 naira per litre, an increase of 49%. But was the president right? Had Nigerians agreed to the subsidy's total removal last year, would the economy be better off today?
You're the one patronizing churches and mosques and abolishments. When you stop patronizing them...
The idea of subsidy removal was not to bring an expectation that within 1 year, the economy will be better off, right? It's something that was supposed to begin a movement from a purely price-regulated regime to where there will be a lot of competition, a deregulated environment. And the benefits of that do not happen in 1 year. Okay, the advantage we will have seen in a year is that the entire 1.3 or so trillion naira that has now been used for subsidy will have been channeled somewhere else. Now, to the extent that one of the biggest issues about this fuel subsidy story is that of trust of government. Okay, whether the people trust that the government will use the additional 1.3 today spent and channel it in a way that would support the economy profitably.
Look, the leakage in this system is so bad that if you give government 10 times as much money, performance will even be worse. So to say that removing fuel subsidy, therefore putting more money in the pockets of government, makes for a possibility of improvement, not the way government is structured today in Nigeria. Talking about subsidy and all of that gets in the way of the real issue of accountability in public office, of respect for the commonwealth. Public officials spend public money as if it's their personal money, the way they waste it.
Similar moves in the pricing of other goods have seen positive results. The deregulation of kerosene and diesel prices in 2009 led to a significant improvement in supply, albeit while increasing energy costs for households and companies. The government argues that the savings from the removal of subsidies account for about 20% of the 2012 federal budget and can be put to more productive use. Throughout the year, government took steps to address concerns about the appropriate use of these savings by setting up the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program, SURE-P. Designed to mitigate the immediate impact of the partial petroleum subsidy removal, government has invested the savings in a wide range of projects. By November 2012, SURE-P had spent 63 billion naira on development projects in maternal health care, mass transit, roads, bridges, and railways. The government also set up several committees to probe the disbursement of the controversial subsidies. Last year, the Finance Ministry highlighted that it is investigating 232 billion naira in fraudulent claims for subsidies and has so far recovered 29 billion naira. Government has made it clear that given the cost, the complete removal of the fuel subsidy is inevitable. It also argues that the regulated pricing of petrol prevents investors from pumping billions of dollars into the sector.